Gentlemen, if you've been waking up again and again during the night just to use the bathroom, feeling that constant urgency, or noticing that your bladder never feels fully empty, then you already know how frustrating prostate issues can become. And most men quietly live with it for years, thinking it's just part of aging. For a long time, the only real options offered were prescription medications, often bringing side effects, or surgical procedures that many people naturally want to avoid unless absolutely necessary. But what if I told you something surprising, something simple, something that doesn't come in a prescription bottle at all, something that might already be sitting in your kitchen cupboard right now? Because one of the most powerful ways to support prostate health, reduce discomfort, and improve urinary flow may come down to something as basic as a daily handful of a specific type of nut. And yes, science is increasingly showing that certain everyday foods can play a real role in calming prostate inflammation, slowing enlargement, and helping men regain control of their urinary patterns. Not magic, not exaggeration, just biology working with nutrition. In today's video, we are going to walk through 5 specific nuts that have strong evidence and traditional use behind them for supporting prostate health and overall male vitality. Each one brings its own unique mechanism, some improve blood flow, some reduce inflammation, some support hormonal balance, and some directly protect prostate cells at a deep cellular level. And I'll be very clear with you from the beginning. One of these 5 stands out so strongly, so consistently in research and biological impact that I personally consider it the #1 nut for daily prostate support. I'll show you exactly which one it is and why it matters so much later in this video. But before we get into the list, let's quickly understand what we are actually dealing with when we talk about the prostate. Because once you understand the organ itself, the role of food becomes much easier to appreciate. The prostate is a small gland that only men have. It sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra, which is the tube that carries urine out of the body. If you imagine its shape, it's roughly similar to a walnut, both in size and structure. Its main job is to produce a fluid that mixes with sperm, helping form semen and supporting reproductive function. So it plays an important biological role, even though most men don't think about it until problems begin. Now, here's where things become more noticeable with age. In many men, this gland gradually begins to enlarge over time. This condition is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. The word benign is important here because it means it is not cancer. But even though it is not cancerous, it can still create very real symptoms that affect daily life. As the prostate grows, it can press against the urethra, almost like gently squeezing a soft tube. And that pressure is what leads to the common urinary symptoms so many men experience. You may feel a constant urge to urinate, even shortly after going. You may notice a weaker urine stream or difficulty starting. You may feel like your bladder is not fully emptying, even after using the bathroom. And one of the most disruptive symptoms is nocturia, which simply means waking up multiple times during the night to urinate. That repeated interruption of sleep can slowly drain your energy, affect concentration, and reduce overall quality of life. In some cases, ongoing irritation can also contribute to inflammation of the prostate, known as prostatitis, which can further increase discomfort. But here is the important part many men don't hear often enough. You actually have significant influence over how your prostate behaves over time. Daily movement, body weight, and especially nutrition all play a major role in either calming or aggravating these symptoms. And this is exactly where natural food strategies become interesting, especially nutrient-dense foods like nuts, which we are going to focus on today. These are not random internet claims. They are based on growing nutritional and clinical research showing how certain plant compounds can reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and support urinary function. I'm Dr. Rose, a urologist with over 12 years of experience helping men manage prostate health in both clinical and lifestyle-focused ways. And in the next section, we'll begin breaking down the first nut on our list, starting with number 5. Number 5 on our list is the pistachio. Now, pistachios are already popular for their taste. Slightly sweet, rich, and satisfying, especially when you have to crack them open one by one, which naturally slows down eating and makes them feel more intentional as a snack. But beyond their flavor and convenience, pistachios carry a very interesting nutritional profile that directly connects to prostate health in several meaningful ways. They are rich in powerful antioxidants, especially compounds like lutein and zeaxanthin, which help protect your body's cells from oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as a kind of internal wear and tear that builds up over time and can contribute to inflammation in sensitive tissues like the prostate. By reducing this stress, pistachios help create a calmer internal environment where prostate irritation is less likely to worsen. But that's only one part of the story. Pistachios are also one of the best nut sources of an amino acid called arginine. This is where things become even more interesting from a physiological point of view. Your body uses arginine to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that plays a key role in relaxing blood vessels. When blood vessels relax, they widen, and this improves circulation throughout the body, including the pelvic region where the prostate is located. Better blood flow means better oxygen delivery, better nutrient transport, and improved tissue function overall. And when the prostate receives better circulation, it is less likely to become inflamed or function under stress. At the same time, pistachios also contain plant sterols, which are naturally occurring compounds found in plants that can help influence cholesterol metabolism and may also support hormonal balance linked to prostate growth. Now, what makes pistachios even more interesting is that their benefits are not just theoretical. There has been clinical research where men consumed a small daily portion of pistachios over a period of just a few weeks, and the results showed measurable improvements in blood flow and vascular function. That matters because prostate health is not just about the gland itself, it is also deeply connected to the quality of blood supply around it. When circulation improves, urinary function often improves along with it. Men in such studies also reported better overall comfort and reduced symptoms associated with urinary strain. But pistachios don't only work on the prostate directly. They also support broader health systems that indirectly reduce pressure on the urinary tract. For example, their healthy fat and fiber content helps with satiety, meaning you feel full for longer after eating them. This can support weight management, and that is important because excess body weight is strongly associated with worsening BPH symptoms. Extra abdominal pressure can place additional strain on the bladder, making urinary urgency more frequent. Pistachios also contain potassium, which supports healthy blood pressure regulation, another factor closely linked to vascular health and circulation. So when you look at pistachios as a whole, you see a combination of effects working together. Reduced inflammation, improved circulation, better metabolic balance, and supportive effects on weight and cardiovascular health. All of these factors indirectly and directly support prostate function. This is why pistachios are not just a casual snack in this context. They become a functional food with multiple overlapping benefits for men's health. Now I want to move on to number 4, a nut that is extremely common, incredibly versatile, and surprisingly powerful when it comes to long-term prostate support, the almond. Number 4 on our list is the almond. Now, almonds are one of those foods that almost everyone recognizes, and many people already include in their diet in some form. But what most men don't realize is how deeply almonds can influence long-term prostate health when consumed consistently. They are not just a healthy snack. They are a dense package of protective nutrients that support multiple systems in the body at the same time. Let's start with their core nutritional strength. A small handful of almonds, around 1 ounce, provides a very impressive amount of vitamin E, close to half of your daily requirement. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, and its main role here is protecting your cells from oxidative damage. Inside the prostate, this matters a lot because oxidative stress is one of the key factors linked to inflammation and gradual enlargement over time. By reducing this stress, almonds help create a more stable cellular environment in the prostate tissue. But vitamin E is not working alone here. Almonds also contain healthy monounsaturated fats, fiber, magnesium, and several trace minerals that work together in a very coordinated way. Magnesium helps support muscle and nerve function, including the smooth muscles involved in urinary control. Healthy fats support hormone balance, which is important because hormonal shifts are one of the contributing factors in prostate enlargement as men age. But one of the most interesting aspects of almonds is their effect on inflammation at a systemic level. The antioxidants in almonds, especially those concentrated in the brown skin, help neutralize free radicals throughout the body. This reduces the overall inflammatory burden, not just in one organ, but across multiple systems, including the urinary tract. Now, here's something many people overlook. Almonds also play a role in gut health, and this might not sound directly related to the prostate at first, but it actually is. Almonds act as a prebiotic food, meaning they feed the beneficial bacteria in your digestive system. A healthier gut microbiome leads to better regulation of inflammation throughout the body. It also improves how efficiently your body processes and eliminates waste products. When your internal system is functioning smoothly like this, there is less metabolic stress placed on organs like the liver, kidneys, and yes, even the prostate indirectly benefits from this reduced inflammatory load. So, in a way, almonds are working quietly in the background, improving the internal environment of the body so that inflammation is less likely to build up in sensitive areas. This is why consistency matters more than quantity here. A small daily serving is often enough to support these long-term effects. Another advantage of almonds is their versatility. They can be eaten raw as a snack, added to oatmeal, blended into yogurt, used in baking, or even consumed as almond butter. This makes them very easy to include in a daily routine without much effort or lifestyle change. And when a health strategy is easy to maintain, that is where real long-term results come from. So almonds may not feel as special as some exotic supplement, but their strength lies in their consistency and their wide-ranging support across inflammation, metabolism, and cellular protection. Now let's move forward to number 3, a nut that many people underestimate, but which carries a surprisingly rich profile of heart and prostate supporting nutrients, the pecan. Number 3 on our list is the pecan. Now, pecans are often seen as just a flavorful addition to desserts or snacks, but in reality, they are one of the most nutrient-dense nuts when it comes to supporting long-term cardiovascular and prostate health together. And this connection is extremely important because prostate health and blood flow health are much more closely linked than most people realize. Let's start with what makes pecans unique. They are made up of a very high percentage of healthy unsaturated fats, around 90%, which plays a major role in supporting heart and vascular function. But more importantly, these fats are paired with a strong antioxidant profile, including a specific form of vitamin E known as gamma tocopherol. This form of vitamin E is particularly effective at reducing oxidative stress at the cellular level. And oxidative stress is one of the underlying processes that contributes to inflammation and gradual prostate enlargement over time. So by reducing that internal stress, pecans help protect prostate tissue from ongoing irritation. But pecans don't stop there. They also contain plant sterols, natural compounds that have been widely studied for their role in supporting healthy cholesterol levels and urinary function. These compounds help regulate how the body absorbs and processes cholesterol, which has a direct effect on blood vessel health. And here's where the bigger picture becomes clear. When cholesterol levels are better managed, blood vessels function more efficiently, and circulation improves throughout the entire body. That includes the pelvic region, where the prostate depends heavily on consistent blood flow to maintain healthy function. Improved circulation means better oxygen delivery, better nutrient supply, and reduced pressure on surrounding tissues. All of this creates a more stable environment for the prostate, reducing the likelihood of irritation and urinary symptoms over time. Now, pecans also provide important minerals like zinc and magnesium. Zinc plays a crucial role in male reproductive health and hormone regulation. Magnesium supports muscle relaxation and nerve function, both of which are important in urinary control and bladder function. When these nutrients work together, they support not just the prostate itself, but the entire urinary system. Another major benefit of pecans is their impact on heart health. Multiple studies suggest that regular nut consumption, especially pecans, can improve cholesterol profiles and reduce markers of cardiovascular risk. And this matters because the prostate is highly dependent on healthy blood vessels. If circulation is poor, prostate tissue becomes more prone to inflammation and dysfunction. But when vascular health is strong, the entire system functions more smoothly. So pecans act like a bridge between heart health and prostate health, strengthening both systems at the same time. And this is why even a small daily handful can make a meaningful difference over time. They are easy to include in meals, whether added to oatmeal, yogurt, salads, or simply eaten as a snack. Now we move on to number 2, and this is where things become even more powerful, because this next nut contains one of the most important trace minerals for prostate protection in the entire food world, the Brazil nut. Number 2 on our list is the Brazil nut. Now, if there is one nut in this entire list that stands out for a very specific and powerful reason, it is this one. Because Brazil nuts are not just healthy, they are one of the most concentrated natural sources of a single trace mineral that plays a direct role in prostate protection. That mineral is selenium. And selenium is not something your body needs in large amounts, but the amount it needs is absolutely critical for proper cellular defense and immune balance. Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium on the planet. In fact, just one or two nuts can often provide your full daily requirement. This alone makes them unique compared to every other nut on this list. Now let's understand why selenium matters so much for the prostate. Inside your body, selenium is used to build powerful antioxidant enzymes. These enzymes act like internal defense systems, constantly working to neutralize harmful free radicals. Free radicals are unstable molecules that damage cells over time, contributing to inflammation and tissue stress. And in the prostate, this ongoing stress can play a role in enlargement and discomfort. So when selenium levels are adequate, the body is much better equipped to control this oxidative damage. It helps calm inflammation at the cellular level and supports healthier prostate tissue function over time. There is also research showing a strong association between sufficient selenium intake and reduced risk of prostate-related issues. While it is not a cure or a treatment on its own, it clearly plays a protective role in maintaining cellular integrity. But selenium is not the only benefit here. Brazil nuts also contain healthy fats, magnesium, and small amounts of other supportive minerals like zinc. These nutrients work together to support hormonal balance, immune function, and cardiovascular health. And just like we saw with other nuts, heart health and prostate health are deeply connected through blood flow and inflammation control. However, there is one important point that must be understood clearly. Because Brazil nuts are so high in selenium, more is not better. In fact, too much selenium over time can be harmful. That is why the recommended intake is very simple. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day is enough for most people. This small amount is enough to support selenium levels without exceeding safe limits. They can be eaten raw, added to trail mixes, or lightly crushed over meals. Now we arrive at the final and most important nut in our list, the one that brings together almost every major benefit we have discussed so far. The number one nut for prostate support, the walnut. Walnuts are often considered the most complete nut when it comes to male health, and for good reason. They contain a powerful combination of nutrients that target inflammation, circulation, brain function, and hormone balance all at once. What makes walnuts truly exceptional is their omega-3 content. They are one of the richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, a form of omega-3 fatty acid that helps reduce systemic inflammation throughout the body. And inflammation is one of the central drivers of prostate enlargement and urinary symptoms. But that is only the beginning. Walnuts also contain a unique blend of antioxidants, including polyphenols, vitamin E, and melatonin. These compounds help protect cells from oxidative damage and support better recovery and cellular repair. Melatonin also plays a role in sleep quality, which is important because poor sleep is commonly linked with nocturia and frequent nighttime urination. Better sleep often leads to better hormonal regulation and improved overall urinary function. In addition, walnuts support cardiovascular health, improve blood vessel function, and enhance circulation throughout the body. This improved circulation directly benefits the prostate by ensuring consistent oxygen and nutrient supply. And when the prostate is well nourished and well oxygenated, it is less likely to become irritated or inflamed. Walnuts also support brain health and cognitive function, which is another reason they are often called a complete food for men. When you combine all of these effects, anti-inflammatory action, hormonal support, improved circulation, and antioxidant protection, walnuts naturally rise to the top of this list. This is why many experts consider them a daily essential rather than just an occasional snack. A small handful each day is often enough to support long-term prostate and overall health. So if you had to choose just one nut to prioritize consistently, walnuts would be the strongest overall option based on their combined benefits.